So young and impetuous. That is the line Todd the Wraith never got to say on screen. It exists in a finished script. A script that was greenlit, cast, and scheduled. A script that MGM killed the morning it was supposed to start filming. This is Stargate Atlantis, Extinction. The movie that was ready. The movie that never rolled a camera. Stargate Atlantis ran for 5 seasons. By 2008, it was the flagship show of the franchise. SG-1 had ended. Universe was still a year away. Atlantis carried the brand. Joseph Mallozzi and Paul Mully were the showrunners. They had a plan for Season 6. Brad Wright had a vision for the film franchise. The pitch was simple. 2 more years on television, then the show transitions to movies. The same model SG-1 had used. The same model that kept Star Trek alive for 2 decades. In August 2008, Sci-Fi Channel renewed Atlantis for Season 5. But the renewal came with a catch. The network wanted the show moved to Friday nights. A death slot for a show that had built its audience on Monday. The ratings held. Not spectacular, but stable. The show was still performing. The producers had every reason to believe Season 6 was coming. Then the call came. Not a renewal. Not a cancellation in the traditional sense. A pivot. MGM and Sci-Fi agreed. No Season 6. Instead, a 2-hour movie. Extinction. Joseph Mallozzi posted on his blog the day the announcement hit. His tone was measured but clear. The movie was happening. The script was being written. Production was targeted for early 2009. The script was delivered in April 2009. Written by Joseph Mallozzi and Paul Mully. Final draft. Ready to shoot. Then MGM went bankrupt. This is where the story changes. This is not speculation. This is not fan theory. This is what Mallozzi revealed, piece by piece, over years of blog posts and webcast appearances. The Extinction script exists. These are the scenes that were written. Atlantis is no longer in San Francisco Bay. The IOA has relocated the city to the moon. They want a permanent lunar base. They want the gate off-world permanently. Earth's protection, not Pegasus's. Woolsey objects. McKay objects. The city still has a responsibility to the galaxy that gave it life. The argument reaches the highest levels. It fails. The gate is brought online one final time, for a controlled shutdown. What Zelenka detects is not a shutdown. It is a countdown. The ancients installed a failsafe. If Atlantis does not return to Pegasus, it self-destructs. The city was never designed to orbit Earth. It was designed for one ocean, one galaxy, one purpose. They have no choice. They fire the wormhole drive, the same experimental system McKay and Zelenka barely survived in the series finale. It works. For a moment, Atlantis is in transit. Then the drive burns out. The city drops out of hyperspace in the Triangulum galaxy. 300,000 light-years from home. One short-range jump remains. They use it to reach a planet near a subspace anomaly. Shepard makes a decision. He goes to Area 51. He breaks Todd out of custody. Todd. The Wraith who has saved Atlantis before. The Wraith who has betrayed Atlantis before. The only Wraith commander who understands that his species and humanity share a single future, or share a single grave. Shepard needs a pilot. Todd needs a reason to care. They find one. What follows is the sequence Mallozzi described as the most ambitious action set-piece in Stargate history. An enemy mothership. An imminent attack on Atlantis. Shepard in an Asgard exosuit. Mallozzi called it a kick-ass Iron Man sequence. Beckett takes the chair. Drone weapons fill the sky. McKay races to stabilize the city's power grid while Todd flies cover in a Wraith dart. Then the bridge of the enemy ship. 2 Wraith face each other across a command console. Our Todd. And the future version of Todd. Future Todd has designs on this planet and designs on Atlantis. He has had years, perhaps decades, to consolidate power. He does not expect his younger self. He does not expect the one Wraith who has learned to work with humans. Future Todd speaks first. So young and impetuous. Our Todd responds. So old and foolish. Present Todd attacks. The fight is brutal. Close quarters. Malotzi wrote it as a mirror. The same fighter at different points in a single life, one driven by survival, the other by ambition. Future Todd gains the upper hand. The killing blow comes down. And McKay grabs his wrist. McKay, who has spent 5 seasons distrusting Todd, saves his life. Pulls him back from the edge. Keeps the only Wraith ally Atlantis has ever truly had. If you're watching this and you want these stories told properly, subscribe. The command crew is how we make sure these files stay open. Now, the part that hurts. The Extinction script does not end with a battle. It ends with a parting. Taylor suffers a terrible loss. The details are specific. The script names the cost. Malotzi chose not to reveal it publicly, out of respect for the actors, he said, and for the possibility that the story might still be told. What the time travel structure reveals is harder. John Shepard discovers that he and Taylor are destined to be together. Not a suggestion. Not a possible future. The script's time travel mechanic makes it a revealed certainty, and it lands on a man who has spent 5 seasons keeping everyone at arm's length. The final scene. Todd is leaving. Shepard offers a handshake. Todd takes it. And delivers the last line Malotzi ever wrote for the character. "It would be wonderful to have you for dinner sometime." A joke. A threat. An invitation. Everything Todd has always been, compressed into a single sentence. And Shepard laughs, because he understands all 3 meanings and accepts none of them as disqualifying. That is the ending Atlantis never got. Season 6 was also mapped. The 2-part finale would have taken the team to an alternate universe. Atlantis, taken over by a resurrected Michael. Woolsey, Keller, Beckett, Chuck. All turned into Wraith-human hybrids. Shepard's team fighting through a corrupted version of their own city. It was never written beyond the outline. Extinction was the priority. And Extinction is where the road ended. Some elements of Extinction were cannibalized. SGU's Common Descent and Epilogue repurposed the time travel descendants concept. The wormhole drive appeared in the series finale. But Todd's arc, Taylor's loss, the Shepard handshake, the dinner line, those were never filmed. Those sit in the script. Waiting. Here is the connection. Martin Gero wrote the episodes that defined Todd and Shepard's dynamic. Duet. Be All My Sins Remembered. Sunday. First Contact. He built the relationship that Extinction was written to pay off. Gero is the showrunner of Amazon's Stargate. Joseph Malotzi is a consulting producer. The Extinction script sits in the IP vault that Amazon MGM now controls. Will they use it? Unknown. Should they? That is a different question, and it is the one we answer next week. Command crew, subscribe. That briefing goes out Thursday.